I was talking to a guy from work, and he was saying he is feeling depressed, he's feeling down, he's feeling like anxious, he doesn't feel like going out of the house, meeting new people, making like even chatting to his existing friends, right? And I was like, so why do you think this is? And I was asking him loads of different questions to kind of get to the crux of it all, right? And he was telling me like he comes home, he goes on his phone, he goes on like he watches TV, watches the news, he scrolls on his phone constantly, goes on different social medias, he plays video games, and then he like just goes to bed. There's no downtime. There's no like time where he can like his brain just switch off and relax, right? And it got me thinking like a lot of us do this where we come home, we watch TV, we scroll on our social media phones and stuff like that, right? And we think we're resting, we think we're chilling out, we think we're taking like a break from our day by just like mindlessly scrolling, right? Because it feels good. We get a little bit of dopamine hit. We feel like, okay, now we're relaxing. Let me kind of like keep doing this. And all of a sudden, you know, an hour's gone, 2 hours gone. It feels like we're having fun, which is like great, which is like we're releasing dopamine, we are having fun, we're getting like all this feedback and stuff like that. But our brain is not actually resting. Have you thought about that? Your brain, if anything, is like overly excited because what would have been in that time would have been you sitting on your sofa doing nothing, right? If the TV wasn't there, if your phone wasn't there, if your like wife or kids or anyone wasn't around, your friends, family, it would just be you, right? And you being able to kind of like focus in on your own life, that is where the rest comes in. Like not doing anything. That's why like meditation is so important, right? And I'll be honest, I've been there too. Like even recently, I've been shit at it. I've been very, very shit at it. I just like don't meditate. I scroll on my phone a lot. I like watch Netflix when I don't need to. I go on to like I've got Amazon and stuff like that. I don't even need to use it. I've got it. I go onto it just so I can kill like 30 minutes, 45 minutes because I'm bored, right? But instead, if I were to just let that boredom continue, thoughts would come into my mind. My mind would actually feel like it's feeling rested rather than constantly feeling like I'm underslept, like tired, fatigued, because I'm not letting my brain do what it needs to do. It's like constantly feeding your body food when you like, so you should be resting, but instead you go to the sweet jar and you get some sweets and get some cookies and get some snacks, get some nachos, get like whatever, right? You're constantly feeding your body and your digestive system constantly is working. You never allow your body to kind of like burn fat to get rid of the dead, the discarded cells that need to be flushed out with that filled with toxins in your body, right? The same is true for your mind. Like if you're not letting your mind clear its own thoughts and just have some thoughts floating around and then dive into some thoughts and analyze some and then just disregard some completely because they're just bullshit. If you're not letting that, if you don't have an allocated time of the day where that happens, obviously it won't happen. It just constantly keep building up, keep festering in your mind, making you feel like shit, make you feel anxious, make you feel depressed. And so my friend at work, he was telling me this and I was just thinking, this is the remedy. Like you just need to not do anything. You need to put your phone away. You need to relax. You need to like close your eyes, think about what you want out of your life, like where your life is right now. Think about all the things that you're thinking about, and it'll take a while. It'll take a long, long time. But this is like mental work. We go to the gym to build ourselves like physically, right? We need to go to the mental gym to build ourselves mentally, which is meditation, which is like thinking about thoughts. It's like thinking is the main thing here. We need to go into a place or just into our house, even we just sit in the car for half an hour, close your eyes to think, or even don't even have to close your eyes, just like stare at something and zone out and get into a zone, get into the flow zone of just like thinking about that topic and seeing how we can kind of like better ourselves in whichever thought that comes into that moment. And like I said, a lot of thoughts will come. If you're new to this, you'll probably have like 6 months of just like constant weird thoughts coming, but then eventually a day will come where your thoughts clear and you're able to only like harness good thoughts. And I've had glimpses of this in the past where when I was really into it and really wanted meditation and really like controlled my mind, I remember there was a time where if a negative thought did come in, I was like I was a guard on my mind, and I was like, stop the negative thought. As soon as it came close to my mind, I was like, nah, chuck it away. Think of something I'm grateful for. Think of something I am positive about in my life. Think of something I'm happy for in my life, right? if we don't have that mental guard, it's like a mini version of myself, mini version of yourself, right? Just standing as the guard of your mind, like in front of your brain. And a new thought comes, is that thought going to be constructive or destructive? If it's constructive, okay, let's think about bringing it in and think about it, chew on it a little bit more. If it then becomes destructive, disregard it. Or like, if it's not going to be constructive and it's like only going to deter me later, then disregard it. But if it's something that I can actually think about or work on, it'll enhance my life. Maybe it's something to do with my nutrition, my workout, my business, my charisma, my confidence, my family, my like mental health, my physical health, could be anything like positive, right? If it's something to do with that, then let's take this thought in, let's chew on it. Let's like think about more things about this. How can I make this thought into a fully fledged like physical reality where I can kind of like put a moat around it, build like guards around that thought itself as well. Diving deep into your mind like this is not what, like 99% of people don't do this, right? And that's why people like my colleague are depressed and they feel like shit, and they feel like, why is the world like running away from me? Like, I feel like I'm like sharp in my mind, but why is things not like working how I want it to work out? It's because you're not giving enough time to your own self to kind of like let your thoughts let your thoughts just marinate, just think deeply about some topic. We always just get distracted. I've even got family, very, very close family members who just have never put their phone down or put some kind of TV down, or football, or like as in like watching football or the news, just never giving their brain time to think. And it's just like, what do you expect if you're constantly like thinking about, if you're constantly being distracted by things because you're bored and not letting your brain like actually think about things and like let things marinate and manifest and like get broken down then built back up? How do you expect to kind of like get a hold of your mental health, right? It's never going to be in a situation where you can do that, right? It's always going to be running away from you because there's too much going on in your mind. It's like similar with journaling. If you've ever journaled before and you write down loads of ideas about like whatever you're thinking about, or an idea that you want to like, you know, expand upon, learn a bit more about, evaluate a bit more, when you journal it out, all the thoughts are coming onto paper. So it's a bit more of a like visual representation of your thoughts, right? It's not just all like 20 thoughts jumbling around. But once you write those 20 thoughts down, your brain becomes clear, and you're able to chew each thought individually and be like, okay, this one I need to be like a bit more on this one. The 7 things I don't really need to do, but these 13 things, yeah, these are important, and this is the order that needs to be important for. A lot of people don't do this, but if you're watching this, you can now start doing it, because if you're watching this up till now as well, you're the type of person that is like wants to advance, is into like developing yourself and building yourself into the best version of yourself that you can possibly be in this short time that we're here on this earth, right? And you want the better things in life. You want to increase your quality of life. You want to increase the quality of life for your friends and your family too. Be a provider, be the one that retires your parents. Be constantly in a positive mind frame. How can you do that if you're not like constantly working on your mind frame, you see? So listen, I know it can be tough, it can be long, it can be annoying, it can be like, I feel bored. And trust me, I fall victim to it all the time. Like even to today, like I've been scrolling today, and it's just like, yeah, fortunately I have quite a good like self-awareness where, okay, what am I doing? Let me put this down. Like I can get caught into it for half an hour, 45 minutes, a couple of hours sometimes, but then there comes a point where I'm like, all right, what the fuck am I doing? I stop this shit, I go upstairs, I record a video, I do something on the computer, I do something that is constructive towards my life, I go exercise. A lot of people can't do that. They can, but they just haven't trained themselves to do that. So I'm fortunate at that. But if you're not in the same situation, if by watching this video, now you're more aware of it, next time you're scrolling, you can be like, stop. What am I doing? Let me do this instead. Let me exercise instead. Let me work on my business instead. Let me go meet some people instead. Let me go meet a girl instead. Let me go take a girl out on a date instead. Let me like spend time with my wife, my girl, my kids, my mum and dad, my business, etc. Right? You can do so many different constructive things, and it's just a matter of being aware of what's happening to you in the moment, and then you're able to step away and be like, all right, this is what I'm going to do instead. There's a lot of people like that out there. I hope this reaches the right person today. All I want to end on is saying, make me, make yourself, and make your ancestors proud. I know you can do it, So I'll see you in the next video.